Hello, my name is Johnny Ohinaba Perryman, and I wrote something about this, but I understand black people need to see a video or hear a video rather than reading. Uh, as probably most of you know, July 4th, the Ku Klux Klan said that they were going to come out at 8 o'clock at night on July the 4th and start killing black people, old people, young people, all people. And so what happened on July the 4th is a black militia with automatic rifles marched down to Stone Mountain, Georgia. And they marched down to Stone Mountain, Georgia, and they announced that they heard, it was about 1,000 of them, they announced that they heard that the Ku Klux Klan was going to start killing black people at 8 o'clock on July the 4th. And they said if that happens, at 5 minutes after 8, they're going to start killing white people. Now, they were mostly ex-military, and they were marching in formation, all dressed in black with black face masks on. And the police was following them, but the police were so far back that if they turned around and shot at the police, all the police would have to do was take one more step backwards and the bullet wouldn't reach them. They didn't want to be anywhere near all of that. And then the militias, this is Stone Mountain, Georgia, where they were, the birthplace of the Ku Klux Klan, and where they had the Ku Klux Klan Museum. And there was no white people out. They were looking for white folks, and none of them were out. They were looking for the Klan. Klan didn't show up anywhere. So some of them went over to the houses of those three men that hunted down that black jogger and killed them. And they were knocking on the door, calling people to come out, looking through the windows, knocking on the windows, and they heard some noises in at least one of the houses, and they knew that people were in there hiding. And then the police come around the corner, several police cars, and the black men, the militia, they were in military formation, ready to defend themselves against the police. The police saw that and they stopped dead in their tracks. And so they went and they called some more police. And the other police showed up, took one look and said, oh no, they went away, they left. And then finally they called and the police chief came down there. And when the police chief came down there, he drove down to where those militia guys were in defense formation. And he said, you guys haven't done nothing to me. Have a good day. And he drove away. Now, there's been one deaf and dumb guy that, I guess that's what you call him, but he couldn't speak and he couldn't hear. A black guy in another city, and the police was calling him and giving him instructions on what to do, but he couldn't hear anything. But he had a card that he could show authorities that he couldn't hear. And he was holding the card up, and they shot and killed him. There was another kid playing in the backyard, black kid, with a squirt gun. And they shot and killed him too, thought it was a real gun. There was a guy holding his cell phone. They shot and killed him, thought that was a weapon. There was a guy that was running away with his hands up, and they shot and killed him. I can go on and on and on about all these people that got killed, but when the police killed them, their defense in court was they felt threatened. Now, if they felt threatened by a guy holding a cell phone or a guy holding an identification card, or a guy that was handcuffed, how could they didn't feel threatened by 1,000 black men with automatic weapons and start shooting at them? They didn't start shooting at them because they knew damn well what would happen if they did. This defense they use in court, that they felt threatened, as far as I'm concerned, if they're not threatened by 1,000 black people with automatic weapons, don't tell me no bullshit you threatened by a little kid with a squirt gun. I don't want to hear those anymore. I sent out recorders, videos of all those guys marching. And people started sending me messages saying that they want to join that group and what should they do. I replied and I said that that group can't police the whole United States of America. I says, but they were showing you what you can do. In your city, you can get together. You can get, there's ex-military, black military all over the United States. You can form your own militia. And the first thing you should probably do is go out and buy yourself a gun. Buy yourself, maybe a 38 to start with until you save up the money to get an automatic rifle and form your own group. Now, when they started the police reform because of the killing of George Floyd and other black people, several policemen resigned their job. One place there was 57 of them. And all those that resigned, they resigned because they no longer have permission to abuse black people. And I'm happy that they resigned. And what I suggest is all you young, able-bodied, good record young men, black men, go out and get those jobs. Maybe all the police one day will be black. In Saudi Arabia, all the policemen are black, Africans, they're not Arabs. We can do the same thing here. And I'm not saying that we should treat the white people the way they treated us. I think if we get all of those jobs, we should protect and serve. If we don't go apply for those jobs, then we deserve whatever we get. But at the very least, we need to go apply for those jobs. Now, when Floyd was killed, I have a question I would like to ask every police chief in the United States of America. If I was to come across a black man laying on the ground being murdered like that by a police officer while 3 other police officers stood guard, what should I do? Should I jump on the police officer and pull him off the black man? And if I do you think those other police officers would retaliate against me up to including killing me? If the answer is yes, well then I shouldn't jump on this guy and pull him off. If I see a policeman killing a black man, or anybody, killing anybody, just murdering them, no trial, not found guilty of anything, this policeman is judge and jury and everything else. If I see that happen, and the police chief say that if I jump on him, the other 3 policemen should restrain me up to and including killing me, well then that means that I would only have one recourse. If I came up and saw that happen, and I had a gun, I should shoot all 4 of them. Now, if the police chief say, well, no, you shouldn't do anything. Now, the reason we have the Second Amendment in the Constitution is just in case law and order don't represent law anymore. They go rogue and they start doing things like killing people without authority and without justification. That's why we have the Second Amendment. And so if we're supposed to stand by and let them do that, that is just a message to us to all get guns. And if we see something like that happening, instead of shooting them with a camera, we should shoot them with a gun. Now, if I'm wrong in any of my assessments as to what we should do, I think it's up to the police to get on Facebook, get on news, get on television, get on everything, and tell us what we should do in those circumstances so that we're doing the right thing as a citizen. And if the police is not willing to tell us what is the right thing for us to do, well, then it's something that we need to figure out for ourselves. Black people are tired of getting killed. The only thing that they can do is get guns. My first gun I got when I was 18 years old. And when I got that gun at 18 years old, it wasn't because I was afraid because I lived in a black neighborhood. It wasn't because I was afraid of black-on-black crime. I got that gun because I was afraid of the police. Now, when I got that gun, I did not curse, I did not drink, I did not get high. I had a completely clean record, but I was still worrying about the police killing me way back then. Now, on the 4th of July, I had heard that the Ku Klux Klan was going to start shooting people at 8 o'clock. And I had forgotten about that for a moment, and I was sitting in my house, and I heard all the fireworks going on outside. And I thought, well, maybe I'll go sit on the porch and watch the fireworks. And then a thought came to my mind, what if that is the Ku Klux Klan shooting black people? Well, if you go sit on the porch, you have to take your gun with you. And then I thought, just to watch fireworks, if I have to take a gun and possibly kill somebody, it ain't worth it. Now, even though I'm telling everybody to get themselves a gun, I don't believe in killing anybody. I'm completely nonviolent. And what I would hope to happen before all the black people went out and got themselves a gun is that this whole problem is solved. And it can only be solved by the white folks, by the police and the politicians. It can only be solved by the white folks. Because if every black person got a gun, if there was 5 or 6 or 10 black people standing around there with automatic rifles while they were murdering Floyd, it would have stopped. Just like when 1,000 black people had a gun, the police did not bother them at all. And so in order to keep the police from bothering anybody, everybody should get a gun. I'm not saying get a gun and go out and shoot no white folks. I'm not saying get a gun and go out and shoot the police. I'm saying get a gun to protect yourself and to protect your people. Well, that's the end of this message for today.